Hey guys, and welcome back to What If Soul. I'm your host, Broken Soul, and it's time for a brand new What If scenario. That's right guys, based off the last poll I did for my community tab, you guys decided Avatar: The Last Airbender. More specifically, what if Zuko fought back? Now, I know what you guys are wondering, what if Zuko fought back? At what point does he fight back? Now, let's actually start this story at around 2 years before the series started actually. Back when Zuko was bowing to his father during their Agni Kai, or what was supposed to be an Agni Kai, where he apologized to his father for speaking out of turn and he did not want to fight him. It's actually the point right where Ozai is walking up to him and scolding him, telling him that he is weak, that he needs to grow up, and that suffering will be his teacher. As he's walking up, Zuko is hearing his father. He's hearing the murmurs of the crowd around him. He can hear his laughter of his sister Azula, laughing at his torment, at his suffering. And he keeps thinking to himself, why? 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 Why is his father hate him so much? Why do the people of this nation look down upon him because he is so kind-hearted? Why does his sister, his own little sister, see him as nothing but a burden just to be scolded and scorned? The only person in that crowd who actually gives any kind of care to Zuko or any kind of love is Uncle Iroh, who Zuko can see in the corner of his eye. And he can see Uncle Iroh is not only scared for his nephew, but he can also see that his fist is clenched because he wants Zuko to fight back, to show his father that he can be the man that he wants him to be. No, I take it back. He wants Zuko to show Ozai that he is a better man than he could ever possibly imagine to be. Zuko is under a lot of stress. Again, all he thinks to himself is why, and he just hears the taunting, the murmurs, the laughter, the humiliation. It all culminates into him. Zuko's getting emotional. He's getting all upset. It's festering in him. It's boiling. It is burning like a raging hot fire. Until at the very last possible second, as Ozai is standing over his son, getting ready to burn him and scar his face permanently, Zuko's mind snaps as the last two images that pop into his mind are his mother Urza and his uncle Iroh. At that moment, Zuko screams out, "No!" as he does his, what I'm going to call his fire breakdance thing, where he channels firebending through his feet and actually staggers Fire Lord Ozai back for a second. While he does that, Zuko actually getting his footing, facing his father, Zuko punching out a burst of flames so hot and so quickly. Again, it takes Fire Lord Ozai off for a second. He did not think that his son had this in him. Actually hitting Fire Lord Ozai right on his arm, giving him a massive burn. Essentially, Zuko scarred his father. Fire Lord Ozai falls to the ground. Zuko, not letting this opportunity slip, he actually jumps over his father the same way he did against Admiral Zhao during their Agni Kai. He's getting ready to actually launch a fire blast right at his father. However, Zuko's actually stunned. When he sees into the eyes of his father, he actually sees Fire Lord Ozai laughing. Even the entire crowd is completely stunned and a little bit scared. They hear their Fire Lord laughing after he got burned insanely badly on his right shoulder. Fire Lord Ozai, after his cackle, tells Zuko, "That's the fire I wanted to see in you, boy." Fire Lord Ozai stands up slowly, putting his hand on Zuko's shoulder, saying, "I am proud of you, Zuko. You're finally showing that ruthless fire I knew was always inside of you." Then turning to the crowd, announcing, "This match is over. I, Fire Lord Ozai, have been beaten by my son." The entire crowd is completely speechless. Azula is mad. In fact, several audience members are actually backing away from Azula as she's producing her own flames because she just wanted to see Zuko suffer, and now that was taken away from her. The only person who isn't cheering or anything is just Iroh, because he knows exactly what's happening now. He knows that Fire Lord Ozai may have just taken the first steps into breaking his nephew and turning him into the monster that's just like his father. We're actually going to move on to 2 years after the Agni Kai, when the series is first starting up. In fact, during those 2 years, Zuko has been at the Fire Nation. He's been training, studying, and preparing to take over the throne for his father. He's also been militarily trained in terms of strategy and becoming a general, just like how his uncle was before him. He wants to be able to learn how to become the perfect prince for his father. Everything's going perfectly fine. Zuko is treated like an absolute hero in the Fire Nation. Everybody loves him except for Azula. She still cannot stand the fact that Zuko is getting love and praise and not being scorned and demeaned and humiliated. It's actually driving Azula a little bit crazy earlier than what she did in canon. Not to the point where she has to go to a mental asylum like in the comics, but more like when she has she can start hearing the voices in her head. You know, it's not a lot, like a little tickle in the back of her mind at worst. Either way, this is really affecting Azula in a negative way, where it's affecting Zuko in a positive way. Everything's going good until one day Zuko's father actually calls Zuko into his chambers urgently. Zuko rushing in, telling his father, "Father, I've arrived as requested. What happened? What's the matter?" Fire Lord Ozai, actually walking calmly to his son, tells him directly, "Zuko, the Avatar has returned." This actually runs Zuko's blood cold, looking up at his father going, "Father, how is that possible? The Avatar's been gone for over 100 years. Great-grandfather Sozin, he wiped out all the airbenders. What happened?" "I'm not entirely sure, my son. All I know is that I received word from the Fire Sages, and they told me that the Avatar has returned." The statue of Avatar Roku's eyes glowed white, the same glow that every Avatar before him has possessed, meaning that the Avatar spirit is alive. The Avatar, it has returned. The greatest threat to the Fire Nation is here. And Prince Zuko, I need you to snuff out that light. Zuko does not know at all what to say, looking at his father going, "Father, why me? Why do I have to go take care of the Avatar?" "Because Zuko, you are the future of this nation. It is your responsibility to protect our people, to show the world that the Fire Nation is not to be messed with. Therefore, you must be the one to go and destroy the Avatar. I will provide you with a ship and a crew, and you will depart immediately." Zuko again does not know what to say, only making a small request. "Father, I will uphold this task you have given me, the greatest honor I can receive. However, I make one request. May I please bring Uncle Iroh with me?" This surprising Ozai going, "Why, my brother?" Zuko further explaining, "Simply put, Father, Uncle Iroh has been teaching me some of his secret techniques, as well as some of his strategies in terms of the battlefield. If I am to capture the Avatar, I need every edge I can get, including the former Dragon of the West." Ozai cannot exactly argue with the logic in that, so he allows it, saying, "Very well then. I will have a servant send word to your uncle. He will meet you where your ship is docked at. You, however, need to pack now, and send your sister in. Her and I need to talk." Zuko bowing going, "Yes, father," before exiting the room. A few minutes later, Azula actually walks in, going, "Father, what happened? What's wrong?" Looking a little worse for wear. She still, of course, is the same, well, psycho, but you can tell she's starting to get a little bit off. Ozai going, "Azula, darling, tell me, how goes things in your life?" Azula going, "Very fine, father. I have no complaints at all." Ozai going, "Good. I have an assignment for you. Your brother is on his way to go and face the Avatar." Azula is actually in shock going, "You sent him to retrieve the Avatar? Father, why didn't you send me? Why don't you trust me? What have I not done to prove my loyalty to you, father?" You can tell Azula's being completely unhinged, but Ozai stops her going, "Azula, enough. Let me explain, my daughter. Your brother is not worthy of the throne. Yes, he has been trained. Yes, he has studied. But your brother is too kind-hearted and weak to become Fire Lord. That battle against me was a fluke. If it was in public, I would have banished him years ago. However, he's only been allowed to stay because our people love him. That being said, it would be a real tragedy if the people found out that the Avatar killed Prince Zuko in battle. However, they'd be rejoiced to find out that his little sister, who couldn't bear seeing what happened, took revenge on the Avatar, returning home with his head." Azula smiling wickedly going, "Does that mean what I think it means, father?" Ozai just smiles as he returns to his throne going, "Yes, Azula. I need you to follow behind on Zuko's heels. Follow him to the Avatar. I don't care who kills who, just make sure that you are the last one standing. And that's where I'm leaving it for now, guys. I know, I'm sorry guys, but I kind of wanted to expand upon this for a little bit. So what did you guys think? Zuko was able to fight back against his father and earn his respect. He became a celebrity amongst the Fire Nation. However, Zuko is now on his way to his ship so he can go and capture the Avatar. But what will happen when Azula picks up his trail? Let's move on to my favorite segment of each video, question of the video, where you guys send in your best questions and I do my best to answer it the best way I know how to. So for this question, and sorry if it's a bit of an old one, but at Random Mason 7323 asks, who is your favorite rival from each region? Okay, so this is going back to Pokemon actually. Now, it's gonna be a little tricky because with generations 1 and 2, I actually didn't have rivals. Yeah, you can say Gary and Rich, but they didn't really challenge him the same way that Paul did from Diamond and Pearl, whom let's all take a collective agreement on the fact that Paul is probably Ash's greatest rival ever. He challenged him not only in terms of his trainer ability, his philosophy, his style, his Pokemon choices, everything. Like, he was a complete coin flip from him. And that's kind of like what I liked about him. But again, to answer your question, really, to go in order. So Kanto was probably Richie. Johto was probably Gary. Hoenn was probably Morrison. Morrison. I liked him. Plus, he was played by Sean Schmeckel, I think his name. I keep forgetting. I can't say his last name right. The guy who voiced Goku. Generation 4, Paul, obviously, favorite rival of all time. Gen 5, honestly, Stefan is probably my best one because they were rivals, yes, but they were like the friendly kind of like, hey man, good job, I'll get you next time kind of rivals. Gen 6, it's actually a tie between Sawyer or Alon, but I gotta give a shout out definitely to Tierno, only because he's played by Todd Haberkorn, and Todd Haberkorn is one of my favorite voice actors ever. He played Natsu from Fairy Tail, one of my favorite animes. Let me see. Generation, actually, if I want to choose one for Kalos, Gen 6, I want to give it to Sawyer, honestly. Let me see. Generation 7, I mean, only one really, oh no, Kiawe or Gladion. Honestly, I kind of want to give it to Gladion because they were trying to make like a secondary Paul, but honestly, I kind of feel like that one worked better. Okay, so Gen 5 and Gen 7, Gladion and Trip, they both tried to be like a Paul 2.0, but they kind of succeeded more with Gladion than they did with Trip. So I'm going to go with Gladion, honestly, for Generation 7. Generation 8, he really didn't have a rival, actually. I guess the only rival you could say would be Leon, if you want to even count him as a rival. Actually, no, I guess you can count him as a rival. He was more like a goal to reach for, but yeah, I'm going to say Leon from Generation 8. But yeah, no, thank you so much at Random Mason 7323. Sorry, I'm reading it kind of slow. I'm a slow reader, but thank you so much for your question, guys. Please keep asking questions. Please keep bringing me stuff. I don't care. It doesn't even have to be about the Pokemon. It could be about really anything for me. But again, please like, comment, subscribe. Keep asking questions, guys. I love interacting with y'all so much. So guys, that was question of the video. So let me know what you guys think about the episode. And with that being said, guys, this is Broken Soul saying, may y'all souls be ever bright. I love you guys. Bye.